We're live.
Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
what's up? Pretty good. How are you?
I'm not a robot. Or am I a robot? I don't know.
You might not know. What's your temporal aura look like? I wonder. Hey,
Um,
so
I
what'd you
don't know.
think of Loki?
It was okay, I guess. No, it's pretty cool.
That's not what
It's
you
out
tweeted
there.
earlier.
It's
We actually have a
really out
person
there.
watching. Who's watching? Say hello. Hey everybody. Welcome to Starfleet Boy After Dark. This is not Friday. It's Wednesday evening. It is after dark here in the part of the world that PJ and R are on, so that's kind of okay. But I did say we were going to do some stuff on this channel that was like a little bit different, uh, and so finally we're doing it. This is the first like off like topic Star Trek Starfleet Boy After Dark Friday night discussion. So we're here to
Well, we
talk
did the
about
Mortal Kombat thing, didn't we?
that was on this channel.
Yes.
Oh, I get so I would do so many streams. Failure. Starfleet Boy didn't remember his own freaking show. That's no surprise. So Loki. What the hell's going on? Do you have any idea?
Well, spoilers.
Yes, I
Uh,
put that down on the
it
bottom
starts,
there.
yeah, I know. It starts with Avengers Endgame.
Oh yeah,
The
that was
events
right.
of Avengers Endgame and that Loki that disappeared. We were all wondering, oh, what happened to him? What's he gonna be up to now that
And now
his
we know.
variant is gone with the Tesseract? And yeah, we discover the Time Variant Authority.
Not only that, there's like apparently another Loki that's like a bad Loki, or even a worse Loki, I should say, that's like going around doing crazier shit, and that's
Yes,
why I think there's gonna be a lot of Lokis.
Loki Pokey.
Loki Bochi, Luchi, what is this? Moochie Boochie.
He's gonna do
um,
the Loki Pokey and turn himself around. That's what it's all about.
that's what it's
Oh,
all about. um, yeah, this Ryan Airy from Screen Crush. I don't know if you ever watched that show. Thinks it's gonna be Lady Loki, who's the variant that they were talking about in the episode. I enjoyed the show as well, PJ. I was laughing a lot more than I anticipated I would be. I didn't know who. What was the name of the guy, the airplane guy in who oh hi blue the guy who did the pretended there was a bomb. Cooper, DB Cooper. Did you know that story?
DB Cooper.
Remember the part of the episode where the where Loki's
Yeah,
on an airplane?
yeah, DB Cooper. I have to look that up.
That's based on a real guy who disappeared. No one knows what happened to him, and he jumped out of a plane with a shload of money, and no one ever found him. So I thought that was funny that they. I didn't know either. I had
Oh,
to look it up.
I didn't know about that. No, I didn't. I didn't realize that was part of a true story.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently it is. So that was pretty cool that they put that in there. I hope we get more shenanigans, time stuff like that throughout this. Okay, so okay, so this Loki needs to be pruned, right? Like, did you understand the whole temporal, like the whole flow of time thing, the sacred timeline, any of that stuff?
I'm a little confused because my impression in Endgame was that there are multiple timelines existing at the same time, and the fact that the Avengers created a bunch of those is proof. But this says they want to keep like a central timeline, like a specific one timeline, and that if and I don't exactly understand like how somebody getting on the wrong bus or making the wrong decision is going to make them a criminal that can be like disintegrated in the office if they don't have a ticket. All of that kind of stuff was a bit weird, but I get the basic concept of it. Like you have
In
the timekeepers, which are three aliens, and there were multiverse wars. There were multiple timelines fighting against each other back in the day, so they had to stream it into one cohesive timeline that they protect. And like it's basically the gods of the Marvel universe. I mean, they know what everyone's doing at every time in every point of their life.
Yeah, in a weird way, they're like the Time Lords too. I don't think you watch Doctor Who, right? Do you?
No.
So apparently, like I did a little bit of reading on Wikipedia, and the Time Guardian guys in the comics, they're trying to preserve their own timeline. They don't have any interest in preserving like anyone else's. They just need to make sure that they're at the end of the universe. Like, so anything that prevents that from happening is what they go back and fix.
And if there are
So,
too many variants in the timeline, it would create a multiverse of madness.
which,
So,
oh, I didn't even think about that. Whoa.
so both
PJ
WandaVision and this show are
are probably
not
going to tie
are
in.
related somehow to Doctor Strange too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're just getting started with Loki, so we
And
don't know
we know that the third Spider-Man will be dealing with
multi
multiverse
stuff too.
elements, even though the last movie set that up and then debunked it in the same film. Turns out it was all
Yeah, it's
real.
true. This is true. This
We
is
might
true.
see two J. Jonahs going up against each other now. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not.
Or Loki will just be in everything. Um, Nothing really happens in the episode. There's a lot of like exposition and stuff like that. But I did find myself totally like I'm curious to see where it goes. But it was basically like setting up like that this is a different Loki, showing this Loki the error of his ways, and showing that he is actually a compassionate person. I was like very like kind of pleased with that. And so I guess they're turning him into a hero. Like that he's going to be the hero and the villain of the episode, which is pretty appropriate.
Eugene Cordero is in the episode, and he's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, he's
And
awesome. He plays Rutherford, for those of you who don't know, on Lower Decks.
he sounds just like I thought he was putting on a voice for the character. No, that's what he actually
That's
sounds
what he actually
like.
sounds like. Yeah, he's also in The Good Place. My sister watches that show, and she recognized him from that show. I haven't seen The Good Place.
So these humans in this old school style of office that they're in, they're not human, right? They're entities
I
created.
think they're entities that were created, yeah, that look
'Cause they-
human.
because the guy doesn't know what a fish is.
Right.
And I love how the Tesseract has no power, and
And they have all these variant infinity. So there's variant objects too. They had all the variant infinity stones.
which have no power in this world. And
Right.
Loki has no power, and yeah, it's a little pocket universe that has its own set of rules.
What did you think of this, like the bureau, the whole city place, like that whole thing in the episode, like where they are?
That would have been a great background.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks. Okay,
No.
guess what? Someone's gonna be googling.
No, yeah, it looks cool. I like how Loki thinks it's magic.
Right.
I like Mobius, Owen Wilson, man. He's great.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what you thought about Owen
And at
Wilson.
first
Owen
I
Wilson
was-
is great.
Before you know that they're hunting a Loki, and you don't find it out until the end, but I was wondering, like, why is he so curious about this guy who should be taken care of by now in this, in the way the world is set up? Like, he should have been processed, and that should have been the end of it, right? Like, they were going to kill him. That's the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I think pruning, if I'm not mistaken, from what I understood, is like you're vaporized, like you're eliminated completely.
And that kind of, where they vaporize, like, the douchey guy. I'm like, this, okay, what did he do? Like, what, you know what I mean? I don't understand.
Like, I want to know, right?
What do you have to do to get there? And how is it your fault? And is it your fault? And, like, because they don't make that completely clear about, I thought it was people who messed with time themselves and changed things and messed up the timeline were going to get, like, or like, a variant is somebody who was altered because of a time traveler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their path was altered, so they had to be, like, killed for it.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think he was killed I think he was like pruned because he was
The
out
dude
of
had lost his
line.
patience, and he's like, "You puny human." Somebody, somebody complained about like, why is it all humans, and it should be like more diverse in terms of galactic representation, like aliens and stuff and different species. I'm like, Loki says something in the episode like this is all an illusion, and I think it might be a type of illusion. Perhaps the place looks like a certain way, and the people look a certain way depending on who you are.
That makes sense to me.
Maybe I don't know.
I think so. These are all things that are like mysteries at this point on the show. I mean, they could do anything they want to, so we'll find out. But my guess is that that they'll be it'll end up that they're able to appear to you however you need to see them, or want to see them, or whatever. There's like a perception filter. There you go.
Oh wow, that's nice.
It's fixed.
I like the deconstructing of Loki too. Like he's stripped down in this episode because he's in a situation where he has no control at all, and it's like very comedic how he has to submit to these ridiculous things like verify this is everything you've ever said, and then he says something and it prints something out, and he says something else and it prints again. And he's just like he keeps quiet because he knows this will just keep going on. He's like fine, and like the thing that's trying to take off his clothes, it's just like, bzzz, and then like drops him down. He's in like a suit all of a sudden. Like
When
all
you
that
said strips him down, that's what Blue was saying. Literally, it
Yeah.
strips him down.
But all of that leads to him, Mobius showing him what his life would have been past 2012. Like he was responsible for his mother's death, and he shows him like the bad stuff, right? Not right up to the end, but when he goes back and he looks at the tape,
Right.
which is a way,
I love that everything's analog in this like world somehow.
it
It's
all
weird.
seems very metaphoric and illusionary, and like nothing's literally the way it's represented on screen. I don't
Right.
think. Like, but when he starts seeing his father, and when his father passes away, and he sees his relationship with his brother growing, and you see Tom Hiddleston's reactions to all this, I was fucking reveling in that stuff, man. I loved it. And when it got to the point where, I love the part where he's like, "You're not so bad, brother," and he's like, "Maybe I'm not," and Loki's genuinely happy to see that
They have some kind of relationship, right?
relationship, right? Then he gets to Thanos, and he's watching. He doesn't realize this is his death, right? He doesn't realize it yet. But when you don't see it, but you hear
You hear
snap,
the crack, yeah, the snap.
and you see
the
his
neck,
reaction. That's a great reaction. I was just like, I was locked in. I was like, man, this show is fucking blowing my mind. And that kind of just breaks him down. He starts laughing. He has that incident with the minute person. And but then when Mobius at the end asks, like, the whole question is answered, do you enjoy killing? He's like, no, I have to. It's like it's the trick of the weak to inspire fear. And he just basically admits to being a coward.
Yeah.
Like a little,
Yeah.
just a little coward. And I like how Mobius is just he's just so cool with him, and Mobius is set up as a character who Loki can completely open up to, and they're making that very clear. Like it's like Mobius wants to be his friend, and part of his motivation is that we're hunting a version of you. Perhaps you would be the best person to lead the case.
To lead the case. A variant. That's really cool. That's very insightful. I didn't even think about some of those things. And it's true. Like, I like that Mobius's character early on, and then also in that same scene in the ending, was like, we don't really decide what's like good or evil. Like, we're not really. That's not really our job. Like, because they're not, in a way, all they're responsible for is to make sure that the timeline stays a certain way, and that includes things like Thanos, existing, for example, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
And as long as as long as nothing messes with whatever that way the timeline is supposed to be, it's okay with them. So they don't really judge it. And he even goes further with that later on when he's like, I'm a villain. And he's like, well, that's not what I would call you. He's either playing him or he really sees him in that way of like not a villain. I hope it's like, I think it's the that he sees him, in a very neutral way. I thought that was very cool and interesting.
I like that line where Owen will Morbius. No, I keep calling him Morbius. Mobius.
It's Mobius.
Mobius. Like Mobius strip.
Yeah, exactly.
Mobius.
General, and he's actually, did he introduce himself as like General Mobius? He's a rank. I think he's General Mobius, if I'm not mistaken. Mobius. I like the way it's spelled, by the way, with the umlauts.
I like how he tells Loki, I basically hunt dangerous variants. And he's like me? He's like, no, you're a pussycat. Calls him a pussycat. He's like, he's getting under his skin. He's breaking him down throughout the whole episode. And
I like
Owen Wilson is fucking great. I didn't expect to like his character so much.
I liked him instantly, yeah. Just that, well, he's so like, he's doing everything that Owen Wilson is known for. Like he's got his Owen Wilson unique style, but then he's also like being this character. Like you totally,
he's a very specific character himself, even though like the Owen Wilson nature of it comes out, and he fits the role. I mean, he doesn't say "Wow."
I hope he does.
Loki, wow.
I hope he does say it at some point. That would be really funny. So that was an interesting like part where going back to the Infinity Stone scene. I love the way that whole thing was set up, because like we're all wowing at the same time at like why are there just like Infinity Stones in here and they have no like importance. It's like some of the guys use these as paperweights, and then like I like that scene because then he gets up and he kind of like walks towards that like gigantic analog board that gives you information or whatever. It's like shaped like cool retro futuristic.
It's
60s.
very 1984. I found the environment was.
Yeah, or Brazil. Did you see that movie Brazil? Yeah, it had that
which is actually has a 1984 influence
as well. Yeah. And so I like that when he stands in front of it, he's just like, "This is the greatest power in the universe. Like it must be like and he even Mobius even alludes to another department with nightmares or something. So I'm wondering if like
the Monsters Inc. universe.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, the doors, right? Like, there's doors. Like, it might actually be.
We see same. Mike and Sully in one.
That would be amazing if we actually do. What other things did you catch that you really liked? And was there anything that you didn't like in the episode?
Just what I mentioned earlier about like the clarity on why people become variants. Like it wasn't too clear. I understand why Loki did, because it was a result of interference from time travelers. So I'm thinking like not that he's a victim, but like you will have victims of circumstance in this case, and it's sad that they have to be pruned, I guess.
Yeah. Well, maybe they weren't gonna. I think
device too. The
the scrubber
put you back in your
twister,
spot.
time twister. I think they called it, right?
And how Loki throws the chair at him, and then he puts him back to where the chair was, and he falls on his ass. And he's like, "Yeah, it only moves you back, not the furniture." So it's great little moments like that.
What if like I think that the guy who got pruned was originally going to get his timeline reset, because they were going to like, you're supposedly go up to this judge, and if it's found that you're not guilty, like it was like what you said earlier, like the result of a time traveler, and you just got caught in the mix somehow, it seems like they'll send you back, erase your mind or whatever, and reset you, like reset you. But if they find that you're like a time traveler, I guess, or like someone who can like mess around with the timeline, that's when they prune you out. So
Well, and here's the thing about that. Loki brings up a good point in the court. It's like, shouldn't you be arresting the Avengers? They're the ones that's messing with the time.
so
And the
yeah.
judge is like, that was supposed to happen. It's like, it's one of these things like, well, they're the exception. Like, they had to, we allowed them to fix it. It was their destiny to fix the whole Thanos bullcrap.
But ironically, and again, I don't take credit for noticing this. This was on Screen Crush. But ironically, like when Captain America comes back after he returns the Infinity Stones to their rightful points, he says something about pruning the branches on a tree, which is interesting. So and then when the Sorcerer Supreme was showing like a similar looking timeline, and then so the Infinity Stones apparently regulate the flow of time in every universe somehow. So
Okay.
when you remove an Infinity Stone, it creates a branch. Remember, like she was talking about how, like, so that's why they had to return the Infinity Stones. So they actually never got in trouble because they were able to like go back in time and prune all the changes that they made.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why. I mean, that like
But
I didn't realize that at first either. I had to watch a
I
YouTube
remember
video.
when we first talked
So-
about Endgame like 3 years ago, over 3 years ago.
that's crazy.
Like right after it came out, there was a lot of confusion about, okay, do the timelines still exist regardless of him returning the stuff? And when Steve is an old man, is he coming back from an alternate timeline where he grew old in that world, or did he grow old in the current world and Peggy was really with him the whole time in all the previous movies, like old woman Peggy who was dying on the bed in Winter Soldier? Or was it
And
Winter
she-
Soldier or
It was
or
Winter Soldier, right?
Civil War?
Civil War,
Maybe?
maybe it was Civil War. And she's dying.
No, okay, no, it was Winter Soldier, and then she passed. She's already gone in at the beginning of Civil War. But yes, like that whole time she's talking to him, she's like, well, you're secretly my husband. Like the real old man Steve is not with her there. Like when young Steve leaves, like old Steve would come out of like the bathroom or something. Like, is he gone? Is he gone? Okay, honey. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, totally. I think that's what was. I think that's what was happening.
so now in retrospect, I thought he came from an alternate, like he came back to visit somehow. You know, it's all mumbo jumbo anyway, but they do a really good job of like being really out there, but trying their best to explain, like Endgame, especially the speech by Banner, which is like, you know, you got to listen to it a couple of times, but like the Russo brothers tried their best to really make sense of that, and I think this expands on it, or at least answers some of the questions. But then there are still questions I have, but I mean, I love how it's tied into Endgame too, and not only is it related to Endgame, it's also related to the concept of the multiverse, and we know the MCU is going down that road very hard
Yeah,
in the
totally.
upcoming films with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. I don't know how the Eternals will play in anything like that. I think that's going to be more of a separate thing, but yeah. What else?
Well, I was gonna say, so then Loki, obviously, he could have been he could have he they found out that like he had the Tesseract, so that's why he's a variant, or that's why he's a variant, or that's why he pruned, like he created a variant timeline, and that's why it needs to be pruned or whatever. So it's very interesting.
Do you think there's a chance that this Loki, when it's all said and done for the series, whether it's a limited series or continuing, that Loki could somehow show up in
Yeah,
Thor,
I think
Love and
that's the
Thunder, or
I
some
think
other
that's the
film?
end game. I think this is the end game. Is like I think Loki is too beloved a character to leave him dead,
Dead.
and clearly Tom Hiddleston wants to keep doing it because he loves it. Like he's doing a really good. He's great at Loki,
And it's a clever cheat because it's not it's the 2012 Loki.
right.
So technically, is Tom Hiddleston 10 years, like almost 10 years younger?
Yeah, but he's a
And
god. So he lives for
he
thousands
still
of
looks,
years,
he
right?
still
Yeah, he looks
pretty
great.
much the same. Like,
Yeah, he
you know,
looks the
there's
same.
not a
He
big
doesn't-
difference in age. From,
No.
You know, they
So-
actually, there's a couple of scenes where they intercut Tom Hiddleston new stuff, like little expressions in that scene with the Avengers.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that this is the first Marvel series where you actually see, granted, it's archive footage, but you see Avengers. You see like Rene Russo, you see Anthony Hopkins, you see fucking Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr. Like you've
No,
never seen
yeah,
that
for
in a
sure.
Marvel show. So I think this is the strongest one out of the gate. Like
Out of the gate, yeah, it was
for
really
sure.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Blue, what are your thoughts? I know you're sitting there watching our stream. There's
There's
got
gotta
to
be, yeah,
an agency that's the opposite. Hmm.
like the Time Messer Upper authorities.
What are they? TVA. It's the Time
Variant
Variant
Authority.
Authority, was it agency? It was authority, right? Yeah.
Authority. Yeah.
What did you think of the minute?
No, they are an authority. Like I like
Yeah.
how
No, 100% they are. Yeah.
he's like, "What are you?" The basically the I don't forget the wording of it, but Loki basically questions their power, and Owen Wilson is like, "No, we're that powerful. Like we are the be all and end all of existence. Like we are
Yeah.
they're literally the most important entity in the Marvel universe, the Marvel multiverse." So, do you think Mobius may show up in Doctor Strange? I want all these characters that we're getting. Like Wanda's going to show up,
Wanda's
in
for sure gonna be in it, right?
and you can have Mobius because Multiverse of Madness would involve some element of the Time Variant Authority if you were to really think about it, and perhaps not. But I mean,
It could. I mean, it could. I mean, they've like there's a lot of time shenanigans going on, and with the multiverse again, if you're creating these variant timelines, then these guys will definitely come in. But I don't know if they'll be. I don't know if they'll be in any of the movies, but maybe Thor. They could come back in Thor somehow. I don't know. Thor could have
did
something
you see
with it.
Chris Hemsworth lately for Thor: Love and Thunder?
No, does he look fantastic?
He's more jacked than he's ever been.
Ever been?
He's
Oh
like
my gosh.
bodybuilder shit now, and I think he works out so much he gets Thor.
That was a funny pun. Thor: Love and Thunder. Let's take a look at him. Chris Hemsworth.
Sure, Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. All right, let's see if there's a picture of him on Google. Whoa. No, that's not him. That's like a composite.
He's not even flexing. He's just standing there, and
Let me see.
just his arms just like in a relaxed position. They're like fucking gigantic. But see, that's the thing. He was Fat Thor, I guess, in Endgame, and I don't know, that whole jokey element to that, and doesn't really work for me. I was like, this is
You didn't
kind of,
like that?
it's kind of like
It made
jumping
me
the shark in a way comedically. I'm like, you're going.
it made me feel for the first time like, oh, I could be Fat Thor as a cosplay. Like it was like, yeah, I can finally cosplay as Thor. If this is a recent picture, it's insane. I think this is has to be.
I'll tell you if it's the picture. It's only like one picture they put out.
Oh, okay. This is him like lifting a tire or something like that. Hold on.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's for the more recent Thor, but
I mean, but look at his arms in this. If that's real, like this is like
oh,
my
that's
whole
real. Like he is that big. I mean,
my whole body fits right here. Like he's insane. That's crazy. Anyways, if you find the image, let me know and I'll post it up here. Yeah, I do hope we get well, we're getting how many episodes will this show be? 8 episodes, like all of them have been so far. What is it?
I
Six
think
to eight
it's
episodes.
6.
6 episodes. So WandaVision was a limited series. There's not going to be a season 2. This is also a limited series. There's not going to be a second season. The only series that'll keep going apparently is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? That's what I understood.
Was that 6?
this series? Oh,
Wait,
WandaVision. That was 8, wasn't it?
8. Okay, 8. Yeah.
Let me just check. We got to give accurate information.
Yeah, there's a picture with him and Taika Waititi. After they wrapped filming on Love and Thunder.
9 episodes for WandaVision.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. I have the picture.
Oh, cool.
This is what dedication is, people.
Where is it? I don't see it. I don't see it, yo. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. Empire.
I like Taika Waititi's expression, like, you're looking at me?
It looks like he's going
And
to play a
Thor's
character.
Thor's like, I'm posing for the cover of a women's romance novel.
I like his shirt. Dang, those muscles. That's crazy. I'm trying to flex over here.
He's like, look at me. I'm a jacked Australian. Master Chef Australia. All right.
All right. Let's see what else. No, I'm just into it. I think I'm excited to see where it goes. As far as I know, there's not like a comic book that this is lifted directly off of. By the way, the same agency or those same time, I was gonna call them Time Lords, but what are they called again? The
The
Timekeepers.
Timekeepers.
Is it?
Okay, I'm confused now. I can't remember. The Timekeepers, yeah. Timekeepers.
Yeah, Timekeepers. The Timekeepers created variant versions of the X-Men, and there was a vampire Wolverine that I found out about also on Screen Crush. Shout out to Screen Crush. It's great to watch his Easter eggs video. Sean didn't put his out yet, so we can't see the one from Trek on the Tube yet. So I had to go to the Screen Crush one.
Yeah, I wanna talk on my PJ's Media Review channels about all of the Marvel shows up until the end of this one, like after this one is over. Talk about WandaVision, Falcon, and Loki, and see like what did we get out of each one, and I'd really like to not rank them per se, just see find out collectively which one satisfied us the most. And I think it might turn out to be Loki, because I think there's some stuff in this show that it's gonna blow us away. Because
sure.
I've heard about a lot of people who didn't spoil it, didn't say a thing about the second episode, but a lot of pundits saw the second episode and they're like, yeah, it only gets better.
Oh, cool. So people have seen the first 2 episodes already.
Yeah, a lot of people have reviewed them online and have given no spoilers.
Oh, good. Okay.
The good channels that I watch, like Double Toasted and other ones.
Hey, Disney, what happened?
Dan Murrell did a good review.
We didn't get our screeners. Send it to PJ's Media Reviews and Starfleet Boy After Dark, please. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Disney's in Florida. I could just walk.
Florida.
Florida.
Vista. You driving a Cadillac? What are you,
Do you have any
big shot? What are you, too good for the early bird special? That's Seinfeld, in case nobody knows.
Yeah, totally. Which was one of the most expensive TV shows ever made, apparently, per episode. What about do you know anything at all, or what are your predictions, I should say, for episode 2?
You know what I love? I don't know anything
At all.
about
I have no idea either. It's
I didn't pay any, not any, but very little attention to what the show was supposed to be. And I think any trailer or promotional thing they put out, I only watched it once. And to be totally honest, for some reason, not really knowing what to expect, I know it had to do with the time variant authority, and there would be elements of time travel, and Loki was going to become an agent of some sort. But other than that, like, I have no idea where this is going. And a lot of people are confused about that devil on the stained glass in the church. Remember that?
Yeah. I wasn't confused when they said it was Loki. I just imagined he had his horned helmet on or something, right?
And I know people were jumping on that again with the it's Morbius. Is that the name?
Mobius, yeah.
No, Morbius, the actual.
Oh, Morbius, the
No,
actual.
not that, not Morbius. That's the living vampire. I'm talking about Mephisto.
Oh, Mephisto, which we were all hoping to see in WandaVision.
And they're like, "Oh, that's the secret villain is Mephisto." And then in the end, in the episode, that's ruled out by saying, that's.
It has to be, right? It has to be.
Wouldn't it be? You said lady. It could be a lady Loki. What if it's some kind of like devilish, like super evil version of Loki that somehow something affected that variant, and he became like supercharged, like the actual evil Loki. Because remember when Mobius, gotta get the names right, Mobius, Morpheus, whatever. But Mobius says to him like, "No, I deal with the truly dangerous ones.
Right.
You're just a pussycat," and he's talking about Loki. Like the truly dangerous one he's hunting is Loki, and he's looking at this 2012 version of Loki and saying,
and he's like, "This guy's
you're
a
not
pussycat."
that.
Yeah, you're not that.
This other Loki is some kind of ruthless. Like at the end of this episode, he burns
Yeah,
the Minutemen alive.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's pretty dark stuff, and it's mixed with
And he's stealing
humor. And
it was to steal. He stole that. They stole the energy, the reset thing. It has that temporal energy in it, or whatever.
Yeah, so the mystery they're setting up is very, very intriguing, and I'm like dying to find out. And I'm glad it's only 6 episodes. I love the fact that they're putting like a real movie budget into these 45 to 50-minute episodes, and having a tight story to where you're like, okay, there's a mystery box set up, but it's not one of these things where you're gonna have to wait like fucking 7-8 episodes to even get close to what it is. And that's what I liked about WandaVision, and that's what I liked about Winter Soldier. WandaVision, there were slightly shorter episodes, so I liked that it was 8. But in terms in like Falcon and Winter Soldier, 6 was perfect for that, and I think 6 may be perfect for this. Unless I'm wrong about the episode numbers, somebody correct me if I am. But yeah, it's great. Love it. Love it. It looks like it has such great potential. I tell you, that's Lady Loki, right?
Lady Loki.
Okay. I think you're right. I think because they don't show, the person is in shadow, right? With the cloak. And I was expecting to see the face of like an eviler Loki.
Yeah.
By Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. Because they would, right? Wouldn't they just do that unless it was like...
Now that you're saying that it could be
not
that,
my idea, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. A couple of people were saying that, I heard today, but I think you bringing it up is a good theory that may pan out.
And it could tie into Love and Thunder. Whoa.
It's Thor. It's evil Chris Hemsworth. It's like, Loki, I never fucking liked you.
I never liked you, Loki.
Pardon my language, but this is Starfleet Boy After Dark.
Yeah, you can rated R on here. You can rate it R on here. So Blue had some more. By the way, thanks for tuning in, Blue. Blue has some more. I sent this link to Sean and he totally didn't show up. Whatever, it's fine.
What the fridge?
I'm gonna use what
Shut
the fridge.
The front door.
That's amazing. I never heard what the fridge before. That's funny.
You never heard that?
No. I don't think Mobius is going to be bad. What do you think, PJ?
No. I can't.
They're neutral. They're not bad or good, right? They're just like they're just affected right now because their own people are being attacked.
The way they set up Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, in this, if he turns out to be bad, I will be sorely disappointed. Unless there's a really good reason, because I sense him as the good guy, and I want him to be the good guy. And the fact that he really helps Loki admit to what he really is, and at the same time is not judging him and is trying to gain his trust to find this person who's killing his agents, his Minutemen. So, I mean,
Yeah, I have
I
the
think
same
he, I think
sentiment.
he, I think the amount of control that he has and the position that he's in. I mean, if he's bad, then it's going to be fucking terrible. Or they could set it up where he is bad and Loki has to take him down.
Right.
But
And
I don't want
and
that to
maybe
happen.
Loki
I
takes
want them to
over.
actually face the villain that they're setting up in the first episode.
Right, that would be cool. Or is he a timekeeper like one of the actual guys? Because like that kind of could be an interesting reveal.
That might be cool. That he himself is a timekeeper in disguise. Even the people in the agency or whatever don't
Don't
know,
know.
and that
Undercover boss.
undercover boss, yeah. Marvel edition,
Marvel edition.
like that SNL skit with
with
Kylo.
Kylo. That would be really funny.
One of the employees at the time, very in authority, is saying to another one, "It's like, I'm pretty sure he's one of the timekeepers."
It's Eugene Cordero. He's so funny. He could probably do a good scene like that.
Eugene Cordero in this episode. What a delight! I didn't even
So
know he was
good.
in it, and I'm just like, great, I love it.
Yeah,
And he's
I was
like,
very
the guy,
pleased.
the guy threatened me with a fish, and I don't even know what that is. It's good. Oh,
And
oh,
also,
my-
you almost when you pruned my cabinet, like he's just obsessed with this like thing. Like he's just like very, very focused on his job, which I really like. It was really funny.
and another clue or an obvious statement that these entities aren't really human and that they're basically created to be in this office because he says he's been behind a desk his entire life,
His entire life.
and that
that's
may
right.
be actually literally true.
There was a again on Screen Crush. Shout out to them. They showed that in the comics, the this place, I forget what it's called, the city where all this is happening. The like it was depicted differently. It was like thousands and thousands of faceless workers like monitoring time throughout the multiverse or whatever, and they're floating. They just float at their desk, so they just stay there constantly, like observing time or whatever.
I
looking
heard
for
somebody
variants.
criticize the way. I think I mentioned that earlier, but there was some criticism about the way the place was represented in terms of like old retro. What do you call it? Not steampunk, but is it steampunk?
I call it 60s future because it looks like
Yeah.
how in the 60s they thought the future would be, like very like modular, round. Everything's round, like everything's like there's no edges on anything. It's all very bubble shapes and spheres and things like that. But
Yeah,
what were people saying?
But the representation you described in the comic, I get that, and I've heard about that. It's just, I think this is a better way to
Oh, 100%.
have human
I think,
characters interact and have there be
Yeah,
like this
yeah.
quirky kind of visual
Yeah. I
style
love
to it.
this.
Like the machine
It's
that
very
is about-
intriguing.
the machine that strips Loki, it's a weird thing where it has a smile on its face and like a twitch in its eye. And it's like, it's really like odd stuff that leads me to believe that to a degree what's happening is real from Loki's point of view. Like, yeah, it's like not literal. Things aren't like, for example, the tape he watches of his life is on like a reel, and then it goes the reel ends and it's like file over, and I'm like, that's not a literal tape with the highlights of his life on it.
Yeah.
That's just you know what he says, Loki says, I thought this place wasn't magic, and I think to a degree it's a far out kind of like Asgardian kind of science that appears to be magic.
The TVA, ironically, the setting reminds me of the TWA terminal, the famous one in New York. Have you ever seen it? Is it New York or LA? But have you seen this?
No.
So here, I'll show you some more pictures from it, but let me see. Okay, so here's like the hold on, let me see. That's what I thought of with the design. Wait, no, it's going crazy. Okay, here we go. So this is like the departures and arrival thing, and see how it has a similar like that circular whatever vibe, and then this is the actual the interior. Let's pull up this one. Copy. Sorry, you guys are seeing me. I'm being a little lazy. There we go. You see how everything's like, and this was built in the 60s, and it's like everything's like very like round, and like color, like the color palette is very interesting and stuff like that. Yeah, so I thought that was what they were modeling.
It's like what Stanley Kubrick would have used for a film set back in the day.
Yeah, no, that's exactly, especially like the ceiling with the lights and stuff like that. With all the each of those little pods or whatever, or half circle. Again, lots of spheres throughout, and bubble type architecture. Here's another picture of the terminal
Oh, cool.
from another. Yeah, so you could. It almost looks like they're filming in this location, but or were inspired by this location. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Blue says, "I hope we go back to into different time periods." And that's what I want to see. I want to see Loki like in the Old West or in the medieval times, or
right.
having to deal with such, and you know what? They haven't showed us a lot of what happens in the show, because almost, if I remember correctly, and there could have been more promotional material, but they show a lot of the first episode and perhaps a bit of the second in a lot of the material. So like 3, 4, and 5, where they're probably going to... They didn't show a lot in the marketing of different time periods, which makes me think that might not happen, but I think they may be holding that to surprise us, like fucking like a Back to the Future style thing. Or
well, they gave us a little bit of it, right? In this one, when they go back to like... Both of those were like way in the past, like 1500 and then 1800 or something like that, right? Yeah, it was cool.
I'd love to see. I want to see the episode, and I hope it's the next one where they're okay. We found the guy in 1952. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Loki's got to go back to 1952, wear the clothes, and fucking do his thing, right?
Yeah, totally. I agree. What is there's this one picture of Loki. Let me see if I can pull it up from the trailer. Let me see here. New window. Loki. It's funny if you don't type Loki all the way, some weird stuff comes up. This scene. What is going on in this scene? Hold on. This is just from the trailer, so I'm not spoiling too much, hopefully, but yeah. What about, is he like Loki for governor or something? Like, see, it's like...
Yeah, that's interesting.
And there's a guy back here who's like in a... looks like a kind of a medieval Japanese feudal armor.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
there.
see, like, this show's gonna be wild, right? Like,
it's gonna be a wild ride, yeah.
Oh, sorry, that was like that image was like manipulated. Let me show you the actual trailer screenshot. There you go. And now you can see the colors a little bit better, the background. So I guess they might be at the agency.
And the
authority.
The barbarian has a pin on his or a badge on his head.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He could have gone, or this could this be the bad guy Loki? We don't know. We don't know at this point. Oh, look, it's actually not. You can look at it closer. It's like, it looks like there's like forks and stuff. Like, yeah.
It looks like Mad Max type shit.
Yeah, it's crazy looking stuff. But
Well, he's been burdened with glorious purpose, so
I
let's see
love
what happens
that.
in the future.
I love that. From now on, that's how we're gonna introduce Starfleet Boy After Dark. We're burdened with glorious purpose. But yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. All right, so I guess we kind of talked about everything. What else is there? Blue, any other questions, or do you know anything about it you want to share with us? Let us know. Just final thoughts, I guess, for me though, is that I'm excited about this fucking show. I'm really glad we talked about it right away. It's very cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the rest.
My prediction is that we will have a really good time along this journey, and that of course this is setting up Loki's return. I can't imagine that they don't. I mean, like I said, he's just too beloved a character. I know so many people love Loki, and so many people cosplay as Loki. I remember going to that Star Trek. It was comic convention here in Miami, and there was like 10 Lokis walking together to do a photo op. So Loki is here to stay, and I'm glad because great character, lots of fun.
Yeah.
What do you got going on, PJ? We're gonna do disco. We're gonna keep doing our disco watch on your channel.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Oh, really? All right.
Well,
I
yeah.
need like 10. Yeah, I can do it. I need like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I can. Okay.
Blue, if you're still up for it, come come over and watch. But we're gonna switch over to Boat Wreck now and watch the next episode of Star Trek Discovery. Oh yay, Blue's excited.
Unification 3.
Unification 3, which I'm glad we're gonna see this episode because I love it. All right, I'm gonna have a coffee. I think I'm gonna have a coffee. It's okay. This late, it's okay to have a coffee this late, right?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. See ya.
Okay.